What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a special video because this is on one of my grails. This is the remastered Mighty Morphin Red and Green Ranger. So before I get into the review, just want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory and why this set means quite a bit to me. So I had originally pre-ordered these when these were first announced. And I gotta say, I'm terrible with checking my email. So when these came into stock on Hasbro Pulse, where I had pre-ordered them, I completely didn't even see it and ended up having the order canceled because of that. So then I ended up going to Big Bad Toy Store to put a pre-order for them. They had I believe they had sold out, but then they put them back up for pre-order, so I was able to catch that. They were originally set to release back in December, but around that time I received an email from Big Bad Toy Store saying that they didn't have enough shipment that they had received. So basically they had to delay the pre-orders, but they weren't going to cancel the orders. And up until about last week, the pre-order was still in, but then I received an email saying that, again, similarly, they didn't receive enough shipment, but now the order was canceled. So Big Bad Toy Store did, in fact, cancel the order. And as you guys know, these figures have been going for crazy prices, but it's crazy because the same day that I had, received the email for the cancellation, I happened to check on Mercari, and I saw the Green Ranger on sale for, somebody was selling it for like 60 bucks, right? But they had actually sent an offer for $49, and I was kind of going back and forth. I was like, why not, right? It did come as is, so it did have the green, the dragon shield and everything like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Literally about an hour later, just happened to be checking Mercari, and I then saw the Mighty Morphin Remastered Red for 20 bucks on Mercari as well. The fastest purchase ever made on that app to date. And then happened to check, and it was the, in fact, same seller. So I was pretty much able to get these two for retail, which is nuts. I'm super stoked about that. So a little bit of backstory. If you guys are looking for these, I did see a brand new Green Ranger sell on Mercari for $100, which is absolutely nuts. I would not pay those prices, but that's just how it is, especially with, the recent news of the, the Lightning Collection possibly, being canceled. That's only going to drive up the prices on these. So I'm super, super fortunate that, I was able to catch these when I did. And it's almost like, it's almost like it was meant to be, right? As soon as, like, the same day I got that, that email, I was able to get these two. So I'm super, super happy about that. So I'm going to go over the accessories, and then we'll go into articulation and things like that. So for the Green Ranger, he did come with the green candle right there. Pretty nice. Of course, you can't have Green Ranger without the unmasked head sculpt right there. Pretty cool. I like that they've given us so many different versions of Tommy. It makes you really realize like how many different looks he's had over the years, because this is definitely one of them. My favorite one has got to be the one with the green bandana. That's definitely like the Tommy that I think of for sure. He also did come with the Blade Blaster blade mode and then the gun mode, which that is really weird because in the show he never had that. That was only for the main core 5, so I always thought that was an interesting addition. And then, of course, for the additional hand, so as you guys can see, he does come with that right gripping hand and then the left fisted hand. He comes with the left holding hand for the Morpher. You do get the dragon dagger playing hand. Of course, you do get the left holding gripping hand. You do get the right Morpher holding hand. And last but not least, the right fisted hand. And then to round out the team, or not the team, but to round out the set of effects, you also do come with the dragon, not the dragon, I guess the Morpher, the dragon Morpher, I don't know what the official name is, the Mighty Morphin Morpher. The Power Morpher. There you go. Which is cool. This is the effect when it's like, you know, when he's morphing. So that's pretty cool. So as you guys can see, he does not come with the Dragon Dagger. So that is something that these two figures did not come with. They did not come with their iconic weapons. But I do happen to have a Green Ranger that I will show you guys later in the video. But I did have the Dragon Dagger. So there you go. So you guys can see. And for Jason, who is in fact my favorite Red Ranger, or Ranger in general, he does come with. So he does come with the, and I think this was actually meant to be with Tommy too, because he has one in his holster already, the Sheath Blade Blaster. So I'll just include that in Tommy's stuff. Yeah. But he also does come with the Blade Blaster blade, as well as the blaster mode. Now one thing that is interesting is that I love these, you know, these accessories. The Blade Blaster is also one of my favorite, you know, like secondary weapons, so to speak. But these just don't really feel good in there. They don't fit in their hands that well. I don't know what it is. I think it's like this part that's too thick, but that was always a big gripe of mine. And similarly enough, he does have that left-fisted hand. He has a right grabby hand, a left-fisted hand, and a right Morpher holding hand. And on him you see the right fist, right grabbing hand, and the left Morpher holding hand. You do get the Power Morpher again with the red Tyrannosaurus, which is super dope. You do have the Power Sword. You guys can see mine has a bunch of wear on the handle because you know, I've the Red Ranger that I've had him displayed with him holding the sword. All right, now to go over the articulation, so I'm going to use green just because I think he moves a little bit better than red. But for the neck articulation, you do have up and down, a little bit of tilt, not too much. I love the, you know, the changes they made on the helmet sculpt. This definitely looks a lot more accurate to the show, and the gold is a lot more vibrant too. But yeah, so the articulation in the neck could be a little bit better. It's on that where it's the peg. How do I put this? There's not really much articulation in the actual neck itself. It's more like just the ball peg at the top. For the arm articulation, it is really good. The previous Lightning Collection figures, that older ones, always had an issue for me going up. This one is smooth as butter, has no problems going up. Of course, he has, you know, up and down. You get that bicep swivel there, double jointed elbow. And I love that these hinges, most of the hinges are now vertical hinges. So they definitely, you know, did the updates so that way, but, you know, before it was just a horizontal hinge, which, you know, if you're holding a weapon, especially like a sword, dagger, something like that, you definitely would need that vertical hinge. And then for the articulation, of course, you get that, you know, that diaphragm cut with the, you know, the ab crunch. Just works super well together. One thing that you guys know I'm not a big fan of, but, you know, these aren't too bad on these ones. As of course, he does have the drop down hips. Now you guys can see there's a little bit wobbly, but, you know, I'm not mad at that. Again, he does have nice leg articulation, thigh swivel, boot swivel, double jointed knee. Sorry about that. So, and then of course you do get the ankle articulation. So you have pretty much all the articulation that you would need. You know, especially for Tommy, he just looks super dope. I'll put him with the, you know, in a pose too. So yeah, these are definitely super cool. And I'll show you guys how these compare to the original versions. All right, and then these are how the originals stack up to their remastered counterparts. So we'll start off with the Green Ranger. So on the left is the original version and left is the remastered. Now, one interesting fact is that this is not the original release of the Green Ranger. This was actually a custom Fighting Spirit Green Ranger that I had purchased. So they had custom this one where they painted the, maybe they removed the paint or something like that. but then they also did attach the holster too, as well as painted the bottoms black. So this is not the official release of the Green Ranger. This again is a, you know, the Fighting Spirit version, but nonetheless, as you guys can see, for the Dragon Shield, it's a much more vibrant gold. I want to say, or at least I would have thought that they would have improved on this. You know, I know that that was a big issue where like this just was too, the neck peg wasn't big enough. It doesn't really look like they've corrected that, but that's fine. The greens, this is actually a darker green than this one. I really couldn't say as to which one is actually show accurate because, again, the Sentai footage and the Power Ranger footage is, you know, it's widely different. I want to say, from what I remember, maybe this one is a little bit more accurate to the show, truth be told. But yeah, these good. I will say the one thing that is a lot better, and actually one thing also interesting enough, is that this Morphin is silver, whereas this one is gold. Again, probably just goes back to this being the Fighting Spirit, but even the way the design of the helmet looks, this just looks a lot more accurate than this one. Yeah, I don't know. And that's something that you'll also see on the, you know, the Red Ranger too. But one thing that I will say that the older versions do a lot better is, of course, the, you know, the leg articulation. I would have loved for them to, you know, keep the same body style, but just, you know, update the look, because these leg articulation, these are perfect to me. These hold up very well. Okay, and then as far as red goes, so one big thing is that the helmets. You guys can see the huge difference on the helmet. This one is way more accurate to the show. This one is just super narrow. I don't know why it is how it is, but it's just a big difference, right? Even the eyes, right? These are much more smaller and things like that. Even the way the mouth looks, it just looks more, you know, authentic. I know the lighting on the camera isn't that great, and I apologize, but the red on the chest is actually darker red than the rest of the body, where this one, it's a little bit more uniform, I would say. Again, you know, you do have, I think it's interesting to note how different the morphers are. I want to say this one has like the more of the gold power coin, and this one has a little bit more, you know, black highlights on there. So again, I apologize. We're not going to be able to see that too well, just because of my lighting. But that's definitely interesting to note. But yeah, all in all, these are definitely great remakes. Now, I would say, is it worth, you know, spending the $50, $100, $100 I would say no. If you're able to get them for a reasonable price, and honestly, you can deem what you think is reasonable or not, but ultimately, I would not, you know, pay the resale prices for these, because these are, you know, nuts, right? But, you know, nonetheless, I'm going to get these guys in a pose and give you my final thoughts. All right, and that's how these two look standing side by side in some poses. So I definitely like these figures. Definitely, you know, hit on the nostalgia factor. I will only be getting these two for the remastered line, because I didn't really care for the other four, but these two as a duo are probably, you know, the most iconic in Mighty Morphin. So, you know, hands down, I'm super happy to get this set. I'll probably make another video, you know, talking about my thoughts on, you know, the Lightning collection and, you know, the you know, what would happen in the future. But, you know, all in all, this very well might be my very last, you know, video on Lightning collection. I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm always looking to get, you know, other figures, but ideally I would love to get Zeo Red and Zeo Gold as a counterpart to these two. But, you know, that's definitely something that, you know, it's on the back burner. I'm not really, you know, putting that to, you know, if I find them for a good deal, sure, no, why not? But, you know, I'm as it stands, I'm very, very happy with these two. So, again, let me know what you guys think. If you are able to find these, you know, I wish you guys nothing but, you know, the best of luck. These are definitely worth it if you guys are, you know, looking to, you know, get those remastered versions. But, you know, if you have just the original, those would definitely suffice too. there's not really much in the terms of difference that's really going to make it or break. You know, the articulation is still the same. Like I said, my personal opinion is I feel that the older ones are actually better articulation wise, but you know, aesthetically these are superior. So it just pick your poison, right? But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Peace.